Hey everybody, and welcome to a quick walkthrough of how I fly in Squad. I've had a few people ask me what exactly I'm using to fly, and it's kind of a long process just explaining it, even as a quick answer. So I decided to make this video to get it out there of exactly what I'm using. In some cases, people will use mouse and keyboard. In other cases, people will use a HOTAS. In my case, I use a FrSky Taranis X9D. Some of you may have seen this before. For those of you that haven't, this is a transmitter widely used with RC planes, drones, boats, etc. I originally bought it for when I started building drones. It has a feature that allows it to be hardwired in and used as an input device when configured correctly. I've had to go through the onboard software and configure each switch to have an action or to have an input onto the computer. It has a plethora of auxiliary switches, buttons, and dials that can be mapped to actions in game. I want to make a quick note that I'm not affiliated with any of the products discussed, but I will list them in the description so that you can find them yourself if you'd like to use this exact setup. Let me know in the comments if you would like a separate video for the Taranis. I could go in depth about my specific configuration, which allows me to use all the necessary actions in game. Here we're going to load into a quick training session so I can show off the commands used at the beginning of the match. The commands will be listed in the description for you to access easily. We start off by joining the pilot training session, and that will create a local server for us to change commands, change maps, anything of that sort. So we'll load up AdminChangeLayer CAF-GORDOC-RAS v1. That'll load the map as soon as we press enter. Once loaded in, we'll see which team we're on. And I would like to fly the Blackhawks, so I'll swap to the Canadian Army, but it's giving me a timer. So I'll bring up the commands and start loading general commands that I use every time I fly. They're saved automatically for me. Once you've typed them in once, they'll show up as you press the up arrow, it's all of your recent commands. So we can just up arrow to all of these, press enter, up arrow again, load the next one, and continue on. So now I'll swap teams, create my squad, grab my kit, and spawn in near the helicopters. Up at the top you'll notice the timer is pretty high. At the beginning of a match there's always a staging phase. So we'll load AdminSlomo 20, and that'll speed up that process by quite a bit. Once it hits about 155, I use AdminSlomo 1, and then we're good to go. Here we're going to go over some of the basic stuff I use on the controller itself. On the left side, I have a few switches. This one is for ammo, loading and unloading. This one is for construction, loading and unloading. On the back we have engine start. This is local chat. As you can see, it's fate with the webcam in the way, but bottom left you can see local chat is activated. And this button is for command chat to all squads. That will let me call out vehicles quickly, stuff like that. On the right here we have vehicle zoom. That allows me to zoom in when I'm looking around or when I'm up in the air pretty high and I'm looking for fobs or armor, anything of the sort. On the back, again on the right side, we have a momentary switch. I use that for my map. It's just a quick button, pretty much. And I don't think this one has any actions tied to it, but there's a button this direction and a button this direction, and then this is off. Same as this. There's also a button in this direction, but I don't have it bound to anything. We have the basic gimbals. My collective's on the left, and it's not spring loaded like the right one is. So I can't leave this one up like I can on the throttle. In the throttle I can take up and down. And then side to side is spring loaded, just like both sides. I hope you enjoyed the video so far. I had some points I wanted to make before I close this off. I do own a HOTUS. I have holes drilled in my desk to securely mount it. I don't like using it as much as the Taranis because the setup time, and if I'm done using it, I'm too lazy to unmount it, and then it's just in the way. I have to bolt it into my desk. I have to get a ratchet and a wrench to hold both sides of the bolt and tighten it down to the desk so that it's not wobbling around when I'm using it. The base is really light. I'm sure in the future I may upgrade my HOTUS and start using it more, because games like DCS, I'd like to get into that sort of stuff, but with the current HOTUS setup, with this Taranis setup, I don't think that's possible. Another point I'd like to make is I highly suggest spending lots of time in the single player server before ever attempting to fly in a public lobby. Once you are comfortable with flying, landing, resupplying, hovering, evading, and marking while in the air, then you can really give it some thought on whether or not you're confident enough to take another player's life into your hands and drop them where they need to go, or have them up in the air with you. Every time you die in the helicopter, that's just more tickets that you're losing. I think in the past helicopters were more expensive to be lost. I think they were maybe 15 tickets, but I believe they dropped that down to 5. So it's not terrible when you crash. It is a huge waste of time though, for you, for your team, for everybody. If that helicopter goes down, it's 5 minutes and 45 seconds until the next one spawns. I plan on doing more videos like this in the future. A few key ideas I have are like showcasing fob placement strategies. I have this personal Discord where I keep a bunch of fob placement ideas, and I'll take a screenshot of the map with fob emplacements in certain locations, with the radio underneath something or the radio barricaded behind something. I also have an idea for a brief discussion about your role as a pilot and some tips to make you really useful to your team, such as marking vehicles on the move and what you need to be doing when you're not doing that. When you're not doing certain things that you would expect to be doing, you have other jobs that you could do. If any of this sounds interesting to you, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. Leave comments down below if you have any more ideas for videos. I'm open ears for all ideas. And if you have any comments about what I could do differently in this video, be sure to let me know down below. This is really the first time I've taken on a video project, and I'd like to know how it turned out. The video description will contain a few useful links to get in touch with me, as well as all the commands from earlier. I'll have my direct Discord link, a link to the AFO servers, and then down below that I'll have all the commands. Thank you all for watching, and enjoy the rest of the video.